My name is Tina. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're first time, welcome to my channel. Today I have created or designed this beautiful floral arrangement, and it was inspired by these beautiful roses, red roses, and I have put carnations, alstroemeria, which is like a little lily, and some miniature carnations in it, and some baby's breath, and a variety of greenery. I am going to show you how to design this arrangement. It is for a client, so if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and press that notification bell so that you will be notified when I design any other arrangements. I will be designing another one. I am going to create one for my mom, and of course I can't leave out myself. I'm going to create one for me too. So if you like what you see, stay tuned. So today I am going to be arranging a red rose floral arrangement. The floral arrangement is for a co-worker. I chose today to use some red roses, multi greenery that has fern. It has some other green leaves. It has some eucalyptus in it. You can pick these up at your local grocery store. One thing that I do want to let you guys know is when you are picking roses, you want to make sure that you touch the rose, feel it, press in. If it springs back, then you know it's fresh. Check your roses to make sure that all of the roses are not broken off, because sometimes when you buy roses at the store, they are broken off and they just kind of tuck it back inside of it so that you don't know that. So you don't want to get home and find out that your roses that you have are not there. I'm going to be using some miniature carnations, and they're like a green color. It kind of goes with the red and the greenery that I have there. I'm going to be using some baby's breath, and I'm going to be using some alstroemeria. And alstroemeria looks almost like miniature lilies. So I'm going to be using these. So in this particular arrangement, I'm also going to be doing some additional arrangements later on. So stay tuned for that video after I finish with this, or after I complete this. And that other video is going to have these orange kind of pinkish roses, and it's going to have some yellow roses. And I may put some of these other roses in this red rose arrangement depending on how it turns out. So what you're going to need is a knife. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to use some floral tape, or whatever tape you have to tape down the floral foam. You need to put your brick of floral foam inside of a bucket of water. So I have two of them here that are already soaking in water, so that it will soak the water through. So when you put it in, so then the next thing you need to do is you need to take the floral foam and put it up over top of the vase that you're going to be using. I'm going to be using this white beautiful arrangement, vase here. And you take and you cut the floral foam to fit into the vase. You can put the other piece away, and I'm going to be using that in a future arrangement. So if it doesn't fit exactly down, you can press it in. If it doesn't fit, you can take your knife and cut off a piece here. I'm also going to be using a platform here that you mostly use in your kitchen to put your spices or other things on. It's a turntable. So as you're doing your arranging, you can just turn it around and then you can see what it looks like all the way around. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to start off with the greenery. The stores provide you with this little bit of nutrients inside of your water in order to be able to prolong your flowers. Normally I would put it in prior to soaking your foam. So today what I'm going to do is, once I finish making the flower arrangement, I'm going to add some additional water and I'm going to put the packet in. So don't throw those away. I'm going to take the fern. This is a baker's fern, and I want to cut it down because I don't want this arrangement to be too big. You saw my previous arrangement where I did a little mini arrangement and I did a really large arrangement. Today I'm not going to be doing a really large one. I'm going to be doing one in between. So you can cut down your greenery to fit into the foam. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking it and I am putting it on the left side and I'm putting it on the right side. So you want balance in your arrangement, and I'm not going to be throwing away these pieces here. I'm going to put those in the middle, but I'm just cutting down this greenery because it is entirely too large for the arrangement that I'm doing. So as you can see here, I'm putting it in to the side, as close down to the actual vase as you can go, because again we want to try to make sure that we cover all of these things up, and as I go along some of the other greenery will be able to cover that up. So you take it and you just snip it. We have it here. You take it and you snip it like so that each one of the pieces are about the same size. Now I purchased these flowers and the actual greenery from the supermarket, but most of the time I get my greenery and the flowers from the wholesale florist. But I wanted to be able to show you guys what it would look like if you use the supermarket flowers, because I know that most of you all will not be able to have access to the wholesale florist. Also, you cut your flowers and your greenery at an angle, and it gives you the ability to have the greenery drink up some of the water. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking this around and I'm finding the places that I can insert the greenery to cover up that foam. So I have some going around on the side and inside the sides, and then I'm putting the other pieces in the top. So now what I'm doing now is I'm building the other greenery. If you buy flowers and they have, like this had like a little, I guess, blemish in the leaf, you can pull those blemishes off because you don't want those in your arrangements. So you also want to try to keep a balance. Now I don't want this flower arrangement to go higher than here, and I don't want it to go out further than here. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to, since you have something really long, you'll have to, and it's got to go all the way through the foam, you want to hold it up here, and that'll make, then you can make a determination as to where to cut it. So here is where you're going to cut it. So since I have two pieces of this, I want to have a balance. I'm going to put one on this side, one on the left, and one on the right. So I have these other pieces here. Now I want to be able to have more greenery, so I'm going to cut these down and I'm going to stick them on the right of this side and on the left of this side. rolling this around and kind of interesting. It gives you the look all the way around the arrangement. So I have some eucalyptus here. I love the smell of eucalyptus. Some people can't stand it, and some people love it. It's one of those things where either you love it or you hate it. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other pieces, and I'm going to do one on the left and one on the right, or one opposite the other, to give a balance. Okay, so you can still see some of the some of the foam, but don't worry about that, because as I add many of the flowers, it will cover that up. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to add the roses. The roses are the star of the show. They are beautiful. Now I forgot. I want to put some of this floral tape, keep the foam down. I normally do that at the beginning, so please forgive me. I'm going to do it now. And I'm going to take it from one side of the arrangement, and I'm going to affix it to the vase like so, and take it all the way to the other side and affix it to the vase. And then you're going to take another piece diagonally from where you put the one piece in. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the roses. We're going to start adding roses. So what you need to do with your roses, I want the roses to go up to here. I want it to go out to here. So you hold your roses up to the bottom of the vase. Well, the bottom of the vase is actually right here. Okay, so you want to hold it up to here, and you don't want to cut off too much of your rose. So you take a knife, or you can do scissors. You don't have to do what I'm doing, because I don't want you to cut yourself. And you cut your rose at an angle. So I'm going to put one rose in the top. Yeah. And I want to put one rose over on this side coming down, and on this side coming down. So again, you need to try to take your rose and look at it here, try to measure it, and so you want to cut off about this much of your rose. Also, if you buy roses and they still have the thorns on it, you can take the knife, and you can just cut the thorns off like so. Sometimes you have broken off pieces of your leaves. You don't want any leaves to go into the water or into the foam, because it'll make the foam spoil. So see how I have it here? I want it to go down like this, and the next one is going to go here. Then the next one is going to go out here. And then I'm going to do the same thing going this way and this way. Okay? Beautiful, right? Look at that. So now we have this side here. I'm going to put, this is the top, so we have the 4 sides. I'm going to put, since I have 3 more pieces, I'm going to put one here kind of going up here, and one here going up here, and one on the other side. So the next thing I want to use is, this is called alstroemeria. What do you think? So far it's turning out pretty good already with just the roses and a greenery in, right? So now these pieces here, these will probably last longer than any of the flowers you have in your arrangement. And I normally just take off the end pieces here, and I want these to kind of go down here because they are really kind of filler flowers, but I'm going to use them as one of the focal pieces to kind of bring out the red. So again, you want to take the flower, and you want to bring it down so that it's like to here, and that would bring it to here, and I want to cut it there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut some other pieces just like that, so that I don't have to cut them separately, and I'll have many pieces at the same. And this has more of a softer stem, so you don't have to worry about trying to feel like you are stabbing yourself or cutting yourself trying to cut through the stem. And again, take off all of the little pieces, and you can leave the ones up here on, that's okay. That gives the flowers some dimension, but sometimes the flowers will kind of sag, or the pieces will sag. So now I'm just going to insert it here. That's one there. I'm going to do one right across from it. So this is the right, this is the left, right? Push this in some more. And then this one is going to go over here. And then this one is going to go over on this side. Sometimes, again, it's a little stubborn, but be careful when you're trying to force it in, because you can just take it out and insert it into a different spot, because you will break off your flowers if you don't. So see here, it's kind of a balance, even though one is can be a little lower, but you have them balanced. The next ones I'm going to put up a little higher with these roses here. Okay, and then I'm going to start, let me see, I have 4 left. I think I'm not going to put, let's see, we're going to put some down closer to the bottom. So let's cut it here. So we're going to cut off about this much of it. And let me cut. Since I have other flowers to go in here, I'm going to bring these down lower. So I'm going to cut all 4 of the pieces at this height. And I'm going to put it down low here. So one's on the right, one's on the left. So my next flowers that I'm going to be using are miniature carnations. So I like to use the miniature carnations. Sometimes I'll use regular carnations, but I like to use the miniature carnations because they are like several pieces that you can use. So you see you have this piece, you have this piece, and so I'm going to cut them in 3 different places. So I'm going to cut it here first. Remember, cut at an angle, right? Then I'm going to cut it here. So in between here, I'm not going to break it off. I'm going to cut it right here. So that means I have 3 pieces out of this one. Okay? So I'm going to cut some of the other ones just like that. And don't worry if you break pieces off, as long as you don't break your roses, because your roses are your central point of reference here, or the star of the show. And when you have bad pieces that are on your roses, just simply pull them off like I just did here. But be careful so you don't break the roses. Now I'm going to start inserting them. I want the top first. Since I have 2 pieces on this one, I want to put this in the top first. And so one on the right side, one on the left. Don't worry if they're not at the same height, that's okay. Now this piece, this is a prime example of be careful, you will bend your pieces. So don't worry about that if that happens, because you can just cut it down and we'll use it on another side, okay? Another thing I want to tell you is if you're picking your flowers in the store, look for brown pieces. This is my passion even more than decorating a tree. This is how I got started about, I want to say back in 1980, I guess 1983, 84, I started out doing floral arrangements, weddings, funerals, everyday arrangements, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. So next we're going to be putting some of the pieces that I cut off. I need to cut them down a little bit more because they're a little too long. I'm going to start putting them over here on the sides, just as I did with the alstroemeria. Okay, so I'm going to take a bunch of them together and cut them at one time so that I don't have to keep cutting, because it takes a lot of time when you have to keep cutting things down. So I want them all about the same height. So I'm going to cut them. Now I can use my scissors and just cut them at an angle. And see? So again, I'm going to put them on the right. I'm going to put them on the left. The next thing I'm going to be doing is trying to go around the arrangement and check out blank spaces. Like there's a blank space here. I want to put a piece in. And I'll cut some more of this here and put a piece right here. There you go. You want it to have dimensions, so you want to have some pieces going out, some pieces being tucked in. So the next thing that I want to add to it is some baby's breath. Now, people normally put baby's breath in arrangements as a filler. They smell amazing. I mean, it is very, very fragrant. So, but be careful as you pull them apart because they'll break off. But just smell them. They smell so good. They smell almost as good as roses. This store that I got these from was Safeway. They really had a good selection of flowers. They just came in. The florist was putting them out, and you need to look at the flowers and make sure that they are very white. You don't see any brown pieces on them or yellow, because that means they're dying. So you don't want that. So I'm going to cut several pieces this length to insert into this arrangement. So you separate them out and you cut them about the same size, kind of like I did with the miniature carnations. So now I'm going to try to insert these pieces so that they're going a little lower than the roses. You see here? Some of them can be right at that, but not as high as this. You want it to kind of go down into the arrangement. Okay? So see, it's going a little bit below the rose, but down, and it doesn't cover up this rose. You want to be able to see the roses. One piece on this side here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this so that you can see it. Okay, and then we're going to put one on this side. So look around your arrangement and see where you might be missing or you have a hole, and just insert the flowers in where you have your hole. So see here, there's a hole. So I'm going to put a piece in there. finished product. What do you think? So I have some alstroemeria here, and I have some miniature carnations and some roses, some baby's breath, and the greenery. I think it turned out beautiful. Okay, so since I forgot to put this in at the beginning, I'm going to add this in a vase or a pitcher. And I'm going to carefully pour. So I have some extra pieces of the greenery I put to the side that I told you I would use in this arrangement. And so what I'm going to do, they have like a little square piece on the end. I'm going to take the scissors and cut it at an angle. So just take these pieces and find a spot that you want to put it in. Put one on the right, one on the left. That's it. So, what do you think? It's beautiful, right? This is the finished product. I tried to give you tips to take you from the start of the putting the floral foam in the vase, putting the greenery into the vase. I added the roses next. I tried to make them balanced by putting one on the right, one on the left, two at the top, and then I tried to take them down throughout the arrangement. I tried to copy what you see on the right onto the left, or when you turn it around from that side on the right and that side on the left. Then I inserted some carnations, miniature ones, some baby lilies or alstroemeria, and I have some baby's breath. I tried to make the roses, the red roses, the star of the show. So, what do you think? Did I do a great job or what? Again, if you like what you've seen so far, please like, subscribe, and press that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I design any additional floral arrangements, DIY, other design. If you're looking for a floral arrangement for one of your friends, for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, or any other day, something just a little special for someone, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My information will be in the description box below, so do not hesitate to reach out.